We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It is Sunday, May the 15th, 6 a.m. I just got off work. I wish I could say it was a good day, but I ran over my foot with a pallet. I was pulling the jack, couldn't stop it, had my foot in the way, and it just ran over it. I don't know. My whole toe is like purple and it could be broken. I'm not sure. My buddy thinks it's broke and it hurts like hell. But yeah, I'm probably not going to go to the doctor. I'm just going to ignore it. Hopefully it gets better. But yeah, so that was my crazy day today. I hope yours was good, better than mine. As far as updates, though, that's about it. Let's get on with the show. Alright, so let's get into the first story that everyone's freaking out about online. I just came across it today from a channel called The Quartering, somebody that I subscribe to. So go check out their channel and tell him who sent you. Maybe he'll give me a shout out. Yep. Trans men can get pregnant. Why Calvin Klein's ad depicting a trans family is causing a stir. An ad from Calvin Klein on Mother's Day featuring a pregnant transgender man and his trans partner has sparked a wave of backlash on social media. Today, in support of women and mothers all over the world, we are spotlighting the realities of new families, the company wrote in the caption of a Sunday Instagram post, highlighting the campaign, which features three non-traditional families, including Brazilian reality stars Erica Fernandez and Robert Bete, I guess. It's B-E-T-E, so Bete or Beat. Erica Fernandez and Roberto Bete are expecting parents from Brazil. Roberto is due to give birth to his and Erica's son Noah any day now. The caption continued alongside images that show Bete visibly pregnant in Calvin Klein underwear, and his wife, wearing a CK sports bra and bottoms, clings to his arms at their bedside. We can reproduce biologically or from the heart. Our place is to love and be loved, the couple is quoted as saying in the ad. Below, click through, let's see. Yeah, you can see images online. So I'm guessing biologically the man is a woman, obviously. There's scar tissue underneath where the breast used to be. And the woman, I'm guessing, is the man, unless there was artificial insemination. The post has since gone viral, and while several users have praised the fashion brand for its inclusive messaging, a slew of transphobic comments quickly drowned them out. I wouldn't say it's transphobic. Sorry. Many of them threatened to boycott the brand, attacking the ad as woke campaign. Well, that's what it is. Why would you put it out on Mother's Day, by the way? One user even wrote, "Time to ditch you, Calvin Klein." Conservative talk show host Steven Crowder turned the ad into a butt of a joke, writing, "We have a huge baby formula shortage. The left says men are the root of all problems, so it's only fair to blame pregnant men, right? I wonder what Calvin Klein has to say about this." I actually like Steven Crowder. I ain't gonna lie. Calvin Klein has since released a statement defending its campaign, confirming that the company will always stand up against hate. "We embrace this platform as an inclusive and respectful environment for individualism and self-expression," the statement read. "At Calvin Klein, we tolerate everything except intolerance. Any intolerant commentary will be removed, and any accounts issuing hateful statements may be blocked." While a number of online critics seem to find the idea of trans men having babies confusing, the truth is that trans and non-binary people with uteruses can and do give birth. Sorry, no, that just means you're a biological woman. And look, man, I have no problem with someone being trans. I mean, I have no problem calling them whatever they want to be called. I'm an old school liberal. I'm very open-minded, but I do think it's crazy that there is this agenda, this trans agenda that's being pushed on us, and I think that's what this commercial was. I mean, literally they put it out on Mother's Day, and it's a man who's pregnant, but it's biologically a woman. Like, we live in clown world. But let's see what this article has to say. Yes, trans men can have babies. According to the Human Rights Campaign's most recent survey, at least 20 million adults, that doesn't even make sense, at least 20 million adults, is it like a child who wrote this? In the United States could be lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender, representing nearly 8% of the total adult population. Of that number, more than 1%, or over 2 million, identify as transgender. Hey, that's cool. That's fine with me. I don't care what you identify as, whatever floats your boat, I'm pro-transgender, I'm pro-gay, I'm pro all of that, but don't say you're a man who's pregnant. Like, that's not biology. Sorry. There is currently no data on how many transgender men give birth. Dr. D. Ojeda, senior national organizer at the National Center for Transgender Equality, which advocates to change policies and to increase acceptance of transgender people, says that trans men have an array of options when it comes to starting families. But due to their specific needs being vastly under-researched and underreported, that message often doesn't translate to society at large. We assume that because you're on testosterone, you can't get pregnant, when in reality there's a good chance you can. Ojeda, who uses they, them pronouns, tells Yahoo Life. It should be noted that not all transgender men use testosterone, just as not all keep their uteruses. Furthermore, due to the lack of education, they say trans men often gather false information about their own bodies and reproductive health. There are a lot of trans men, transmasculine, non-binary people who actually pause their hormones so they can get pregnant. Ojeda explains, adding that this step is sometimes unnecessary in suggesting that trans men seeking pregnancy should always speak to their doctor before pausing their hormones. Dr. Maddie Deutsch, I guess, Deutsch, Maddie Deutsch, Associate Professor of Clinical Family and Community Medicine at the University of California, San Francisco. Of course, it's San Francisco. And Medical Director for UCSF Transgender Care, elaborated on the topic further on UCFS website in an overview about hormone therapy and the reproductive system. Testosterone may reduce your ability to become pregnant, but it does not completely eliminate the risk of pregnancy, Deutsch wrote. Transgender men can become pregnant while on testosterone. So if you remain sexually active with someone who is capable of producing sperm, you should always use a method of birth control to prevent unwanted pregnancy. Adding to that point, Deutsch says that while on testosterone, a trans man's periods may... This is so ridiculous! A trans man's periods may change in its normal cycle, and that it may become difficult for ovaries to release eggs, depending on how long they have been on hormone therapy. In these cases, the piece points out, you may need to consult with a fertility specialist and use special medications or techniques such as in vitro fertilization to become pregnant. Of course, these treatments are not always covered by insurance and can be expensive. Why Inclusivity Matters. Ojeda, whose organization has placed pressure on health insurance companies to better cover the needs of trans folks through its latest campaign, Protect Trans Health, argues that when families like Fernandez and Bete's are visible, it's an opportunity for trans people to know that they're just as deserving to have a family as anyone else is. No one's saying that they're not, but I mean, I don't even know what to say, man. It's so fucking crazy. I applaud Calvin Klein for being that intentional because that language shift is so important, they say. It could improve the way we view people, especially when it comes to access to healthcare and family planning. Fernandez and Bete have since had their baby, documenting the birth and sharing the moment on their Instagrams. It's so fucking crazy. I think that's it. No. There's a lot of stigma that comes with being trans, Ojeda says, in regards to family planning. There's this assumption that we're anti-children or anti-family. I think that's part of the vitriol that has been perpetuated all the way from the attacks on gender-affirming care to abortion care. Ojeda adds that the urgency for men in power to control bodily autonomy, an idea that has been particularly present in recent days following the potential reversal of Roe versus Wade, doesn't just include women, but affects trans people and trans families as well. People see a family they've never met before and never had an understanding of, and that makes them uncomfortable. They explain of the transphobia arising from the recent ad. That who wrote this shit, man? What Calvin Klein is doing is amazing, they continue, explaining that a lot of trans people out there really do want to start a family, but seldom feel empowered to do so. Something they hope the ad can help change. It's going to have a lot of positive impact, especially for healthcare and when it comes to reproductive services. But yeah, there you have it. Crazy Calvin Klein Mother's Day ad where a man had a baby. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you plan on boycotting Calvin Klein, or like I said, I'm pro transgender if that's what people want to do, but I do think it's crazy that they would put out a Mother's Day ad of a man having a baby. I don't know. That's just me. I'm not anti-trans. I'm not anti-gay. I'm not anti-lesbian. I believe you do you, boo-boo. But I do think there is an agenda that's being pushed, and I don't think I'm too cool with that. But let me know what you think in the comments. right. So I've been warning for about a year to stock up on food, and we are seeing shortages with baby formula. Not good. America is running out of baby formula because 3 companies control the market and babies aren't that profitable. There's plenty of blame to go around here, says one expert. A baby formula shortage gripping the U.S. since March has parents in a panic over where and when they'll be able to find the products they need to feed their kids. The out-of-stock rate, representing the amount of formula that's not in stock compared to what's typically available, was 43% for the week ending May 8th, according to Datassembly, a provider of real-time product data for retailers and consumer packaged goods. With no easy end in sight, caregivers nationwide have been forced to devote their free time to driving between stores in search of formula, prompting retailers to limit the number of cans customers can buy. Others have turned to Facebook groups and informal support networks to acquire the nutritional products that work best for their kids. I've looked online. I have my mom in Boston looking, my mother-in-law in Florida looking, Alyssa Schmier previously told Fortune about her trouble finding formula for her 8-month-old son. Everyone we know is looking for us and no one can find it. How did a baby formula crisis spring up in one of the world's richest countries? Experts say a recall by one of the industry's largest manufacturers, persistent supply chain issues, and a market dominated by only a few players have combined to form what one consumer goods experts call a perfect storm, affecting the supply of essential formula to millions of babies across the United States, and the shortage could last for months. Here's how we got here. Let's see what they say. I think, I don't know, what I've been saying is that you can't shut the entire world down because of a little beer bug going around with a number 19. Because now you're seeing what happens. You just can't shut the entire world down. I've been saying this. Poisoned baby formula. Abbott Nutrition is the food sector arm of medical device and healthcare giant Abbott Laboratories, making products that range from carb-loaded drinks that help patients rebound from surgery to energy drinks, to powder and liquid baby formula. Though it maintains a global manufacturing network, its plant in Sturgis, Michigan is among the few in the United States that produce formula. On February 17th, Abbott voluntarily recalled its Sturgis manufactured projects and shut down the plant following reports that 4 infants fell ill from bacterial infection and 2 died after consuming formula produced in the plant. A whistleblower report submitted to the FDA in October 2021 alleged further health and safety compliance issues at the facility and contributed to a formal inspection by the agency earlier this year. Well, at least there's a whistleblower, you know. Abbott is now waiting for approval to reopen. We understand the situation is urgent. Getting Sturgis up and running will help alleviate this shortage, this company said in a statement to Fortune. After conducting its own investigation, we included genomic sequencing of bacteria. The company reported that nothing on its premises matched the specific strain of bacteria that caused the illnesses and deaths. It makes you wonder, though, if it was on purpose, because it just seems like Bill Gates is buying up all this land. Farmers are being paid not to grow and destroy their own crops. It's like anyone who's been keeping up with this shit, like watching Ice Age Farmer and shit like that, like, you guys know this shit's planned, right? This food shortage shit. I mean, I've been telling you for a year this is coming. This shit's planned too. It's not like it's an accident. It's not like it's that's because of this or that. I'm just saying. The Chronobacter sakazaki that was found in environmental testing during the investigation was in non-product contact areas of the facility and has not been linked to any known infant illness, the company said in a statement. The FDA, however, found more problems with the facility that extended beyond the possibility of previous contamination. Following its own inspection, which occurred from January 31st to March 18th, the FDA says that it observed Chronobacter sakazaki in medium and high care areas of powdered infant formula production. A problem regardless of whether or not it was the same strain that caused the specific infant deaths. The agency additionally said in its report that the company did not ensure that all the surfaces that contacted infant formula were maintained to protect infant formula from being contaminated by any source. According to the FDA, the company is still working to correct findings from its inspection. The plant has not yet been able to reopen as a result. Abbott won't be able to get product from its Sturgis facility on shelves for another 6 to 8 weeks, according to the company. And that's only if it reopens as soon as possible. From a parent's perspective, there's no easy, magical answer right now, says Brian Ronholm, Director of Food Policy for Consumer Reports, a nonprofit organization dedicated to ensuring product integrity. You know, I heard about this the other night, man, and it bummed me out because I knew food shortages were coming, but for some reason I didn't think they would fuck with the babies, you know? And for some reason that just like hit home. I was listening to a podcast and they were saying something about formula shortages, and it was Jacob Israel. That's who I was listening to, and he mentioned it, and I just was like, I don't know, I just thought of my niece, little baby named Cora, and I was just like, man, I don't know, it just hit home and bummed me out. It's like they're fucking with the babies now. And it just it bummed me out and it pissed me off at the same time, as it should you. Even after the plant reopens and begins to provide formula to families again, a larger question remains. How can closing a single manufacturing facility have such drastic effect on millions of babies' access to nutrition? A monopoly in the market. The baby formula market exists as a shared monopoly with only a few manufacturers controlling nearly all supply. Abbott had an approximately 43% market share a decade ago, according to the USDA report from 2011, the most recent number available. Little has changed since then. The company still maintains exclusive provider contracts in many states with WIC, the USDA's Supplemental Nutrition Program for low-income families, which makes up nearly half of the formula sales nationwide. A few other manufacturers, including Mead Johnson and Nestle, also have WIC contracts and control the rest of the market. I used to do WIC whenever my baby was, a baby. In addition to its highly concentrated structure, the baby formula market is difficult for another reason. Its demand is set by nation's birth rate, and the market has been shrinking for years. The number of births has declined every year since 2008, except for 2014, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. With only a few key players whose capacities are tied to a shrinking market, repercussions are inevitable when anything gets in the way of certain product getting to store shelves. Other manufacturers are bound to struggle with an influx of new demand from consumers who can't get what they'd typically buy. The dilemma manufacturers have is that it's not a very lucrative market. says Patrick Penfield, a professor of supply chain management at Syracuse University. The only way you can grow your market share is if you're aggressively going after competition. Because Abbott is one of the biggest players in the game already, significantly expanding its share is not really an option. If you can grow your market share, then you look at how you can reduce cost, says Penfield. And sometimes when you reduce the costs, you may not have the right protocols or procedures in place to make sure that you're doing things properly. I'm not saying that's what Abbott Laboratories did, he cautions, but that would be an assumption of mine. Is the FDA responsible for the shortage? Abbott is not the only entity possible at fault. There's plenty of blame to go around here, says Scott Faber, a professor at Georgetown University Law Center and vice president of government affairs at Environmental Working Group, a nonprofit aimed at empowering consumers. Faber sees the FDA itself as in part responsible for the shortage. The agency, he says, did not react fast enough to the whistleblower report and should have conducted a plant inspection sooner. It's almost like maybe it's planned, like I've been saying. When a drunk driver causes a car crash, the drunk driver bears much of the blame, but so does the bartender who looked the other way while serving one too many drinks, he says. Hey, I used to be a bartender. But no, he is right though. There is a cutoff limit. When submitting the report for the record last month, Representative Rosa DeLauro, D. Connecticut, wrote, I am equally concerned that the FDA reacted far too slowly to this report. Almost like it was on purpose. The report was submitted to the FDA on October 20th, 2021. The FDA did not interview the whistleblower until late December of 2021. So October, November, December, 3 months after. According to news reports, FDA did not inspect the plant in person until January 31st. That's 4 months, almost 5, because it was the 31st of 2022. Yep. And the recall was not issued until February 17th of 2022. So 5 months. 5 months, y'all, or 4.5. I'm not good at math, but the agency did not finish its inspection and issue observations to Abbott until March 18th. February, March, so 6 months. The company says that it has been working since then to update its educational and training protocols as well as its cleanings and maintenance procedures. The FDA would not have shut down that factory if they didn't find anything, so there's definitely some type of non-compliance that's going on, Penfield says. Now the FDA is working to catch up to a crisis that seems to have been unfolding in slow motion for months. Yeah, 6 months. The FDA recognizes that many consumers have been unable to access infant formula and critical medical foods they are accustomed to using and are frustrated by their inability to do so. It's going to get worse. The agency said in a statement to Fortune, the agency is doing everything in its power to ensure there is adequate product available where and when they need it. The future of formula. This week, the White House held a press conference to address the shortage and how it plans to get formula restocked as quickly as possible without compromising safety. Those steps include first cutting red tape to get more infant formula to the shelves by urging states to provide flexibility in the WIC program, which can be a key driver of some supply disruptions, said a senior administration official. The official added that the administration is calling on the FTC and state attorneys general to monitor price gouging by third-party sellers. The official outlined a third avenue for alleviating the shortage: foreign imports. Depends where you're getting it from, man. The U.S. normally produces 98% of the infant formula it consumes, and trading partners in Mexico, Chile, Ireland, and the Netherlands are key sources of imports, says the administration in a release that accompanied the press conference. However, there's no timeline yet for when those formula imports will arrive in the U.S. and be distributed. Friday, FDA Commissioner Robert Califf tweeted that the agency will announce its plan next week. When pressed about how long the shortage will last, the official said that there is no estimate for when Abbott's facility will resume functioning. I see continued shortages, says Penfield, about the coming weeks. I think there's a lot of pressure on Abbott to get the plant up and running, and until they do so, you're going to see continued shortages. So I wonder, honestly, if that means there's going to be price hikes on all this shit. Which is not good even if you're using WIC, because you only get a certain amount of WIC you can use. I can't remember if it's by price or by quantity, though. It's been so long since I've had to use WIC because I only have one kid. I only brought one in this world, so I don't know. You'd have to hit me up in the comments about that. But I think that might be it. Let me check the time and let's see if we got another time for another story or not. Yeah, I think we're going to call it quits there. But hey, I put out an episode almost every day, you know. At least this week I have, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I try to put out an episode almost every day, so I keep it around 30 minutes. But y'all have a good day. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to save your phone battery and listen while you're working or something, you can listen to us on audio format only, so that way your phone goes to sleep, but you can also listen. We are on Breaker, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Spotify, and Anchor. And if you want to put a face to a voice, you can find us on YouTube at Conspiracy Corner Podcast. And the profile picture to find us is a dream catcher. But you all have a good day. Please like, share, and subscribe, and adios.
We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.